just going to your childhood, your story is so, well documented and all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to think about what interests me and what would interest people that maybe they don't know. But is it kind of funny to walk in? Because I had this growing up playing basketball. Like, I'd walk into a gym and people just don't think you can play basketball.
Yeah.
Like that, does that kind of give you an advantage in a way?
For sure.
Yeah.
I grew into that as I got older. With my high school team, AAU team, like we would purposely look bad in layup lines. Like we would miss layups and like warm up all slow. So like the other team on the other end, they dunking between the legs dunking. And we down there missing layups, and the tallest guy is 6'2", and we go out there and beat them by 40.
You and I actually have a lot in common. Our struggle, our journey's the same, but they were right with me. They didn't really. They're like, hey, he's too small. I got it.
Here's VanVleet attacking. Wow. The Raptors cut it to 1.
In Atlanta, I was there, and the fans that don't sit down, they're just chanting and stuff, and you airballed the 1-3, right? And then they're like going airball, and then you start banging a couple of shots, and it just felt like every time you did something, they were surprised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, he's been doing it.
Yeah.
Do you notice that reaction?
Yeah, for sure. And you can notice the people who watch the game and the people who don't, and the people who know the game. And like, I don't worry about that. You know what I mean? To me, it's like I get validation from people who know the game and like respect the game and it's credible. And so the average person is not going to respect my game. They're not going to understand. They don't even think that I'm an NBA player, and that's the fun part, is like watching that flip, because they don't know anything about anything. So the guys who know, they know, and I get a lot of validation out of that. It's like being respected by the ones you should be respected by.
Can you dunk?
I can, but listen, it only happens like every 3 months, and it's got to be a full moon. It's got to be like 75 degrees outside. So
that's funny. That's what I would say.
I usually dunk in the summertime, a couple times working out, but those days might be over for me.
You need the right barometric pressure.
Yeah, it's got to be, the atmosphere got to be right. It's got to be cloudy, or it got to be a perfect storm for me to dunk.
Freddie's wearing the N1s now, right? He's trying to deal with them.
He's like the former Raptors.
N1.
Skippy. Right?
Mixtape.
Yeah, Ray Ralston.
Why N1?
I think that just the brand direction fits me. They showed a lot of interest. The most important part was just being able to partner with my brand. So most of the other companies would probably try to make me relinquish some of those rights. And N1 has been good and kind of empowering that, so that's very important for me.
Did you know much about them before? Because like I played in them, I had them and stuff.
I wore N1 my whole childhood. Shorts, the T-shirts, we watched the mixtapes. They didn't have to sell me on the history or the culture. It was just more so like, how do we revamp it and kind of reemerge as one of the brands again.
Is NBA All-Star next for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal for me. I think that if I keep producing and I keep growing and getting better, that I have a chance. But I'm not putting my heart into it in terms of like, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It's something that I'm working for, and I feel like I'm good enough to do that eventually. And whenever it happens, it happens.
Just you and Pascal, you guys have formed this duo, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's at a point where you guys can do whatever you want out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good sense of knowing when he's in his pocket, or like when to give him the ball, just get out the way. And when he needs somebody to pick up for him, he's a little gassed or whatever. So I think that us two, knowing each other, being such good friends on and off the court, it helps the relationship and the chemistry, and something that we see the potential there.
VanVleet at the line. He's got 22. First is good, 11 seconds.
Last night you get to the line, you bury those 2 free throws pretty late. Obviously the shot too or whatever, but the free throws is what I'm interested in, because I just, like as a fan and as a guy that works, I can feel that pressure, and I'm not even in the game.
Yeah.
What are you feeling during that moment? You care?
Yeah, no, I mean, you care because you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
But Toronto's actually probably one of the worst places because everybody in the crowd is so anxious. You could feel it. Like you feel it more so when somebody else is shooting. Like when I'm up there, pretty locked in. But when my teammates are shooting, like you could just feel the crowd just like, ah, like everybody's so anxious about it. But Yeah, so you feel some of that, but you just go up there and you just be like, you know, I'm a bad dude. I'm gonna go up here and knock these down, and we're gonna walk out of here with a win. And that's just the kind of mindset that you gotta have. And you'll miss some. Look, I mean, it's gonna happen. Nobody's perfect, and you gotta be okay with that. But I think accepting that fate, you know, allows you to make more than you miss.
Fatherhood, I was going to ask you about that. You're only 25 and you got 2 kids. What is that like?
It's a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's a good challenge, and it's even if I wasn't an NBA player, I'm the top echelon of basketball players in the world my entire life. Compared to the population, it's relatively.
Hey, buddy!
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, all of that. But yeah, I think, you know, basketball has come relatively easy for me, so like parenting has not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something that you got to work at, and it's been fun. And we have great families and great support systems, and it's a lot of fun. And I'll get my kids' best years, and I'll still be a young, cool dad, and not be an old fart, you know, by the time they're out and about.
Rockford, I got to ask you about, just because they, you know, it's close to your heart, and you know, they open up a court under your name, and how does it make you feel to know that your story is doing something? Like it's helping people.
I mean, to me, it's like the equivalent of going and doing what you love and being successful, and then like forgetting about your family. Like you never call your mom again, you never go back to visit your parents and your brothers. Like that's how I treat Rockford. That's what I have a love and a passion for, and I recognize that there's so, you know, little opportunity there growing up. That's like, it's my job to have the power and the platform now to increase opportunities and to increase hope, and you know, I'm going to continue to keep doing it and try to find different ways to keep increasing opportunities, and that's really all it's about for me.
Congratulations, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.